Alright guys, in this video I'm just going to do a quick video on 4.3b. I guess this is what we did on Friday, and then we really just worked on some examples. So just to run through it real quick, let's see. So this was talking about finding the area under the curve. So what we determined was that when you integrate something, so for example, let's say I wanted to integrate from 1 to 2 of, let's say x squared dx. If you were to integrate this, x cubed over 3, and evaluate it from 1 to 2, what that in fact gives you is the area between the curve and the x-axis. Okay, and you can confirm this with, you could do a rectangle or a horizontal line. Like let's say we said from 1 to 2 of 5 dx. So if you drew that line, let's see, it would look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say you drew the line like that, and we want to go from, let's say, 1 to 2. You could find the area of that rectangle. So it's going to be the area under the curve. So we're saying, so we're at 5. So my height here would be 5, and then my width would be 1. So the area would be 5, right? If I did length times width. So if I did 1 to 2, and then 5, you get 5 for the area of this rectangle, which is also the area underneath the curve. If we were to integrate it, you get 5x from 1 to 2. We get 5 times 2, which is 10, minus 5, which is 5. So the point is, when you're integrating, you're actually finding the area underneath the curve, between the curve and the x-axis. So sometimes we can't integrate things, and that's kind of where this comes into play. So maybe it's a function we can't integrate, but we can draw a curve for it, so we can find the area. And at the same time, we're finding we're evaluating the integral, right? So something like this, for example, is very common on the AP exam. Let's say to evaluate this integral. So we don't normally, let's say from 0 to 2. So we don't integrate that. What we do is we graph the curve. We know what the curve looks like, right? It's an absolute value graph shifted over 2 units, and it would look like this. And then what I do is I create triangles, and I can find the area of each triangle, sum them up, and that would give me the area under the curve, which is also evaluating the integral from 0 to 2 of this curve. So that's what this video is sort of about. So in the first part here, they're just asking you to find the area under the curve. So they're just asking you to practice finding the area triangle, a circle, a trapezoid. So these are all things that triangles, rectangles, trapezoids, we're going to try to create with these graphs so we can find the area, because maybe we're not given a function that we can integrate. Okay, so that's all that I did here. So this was a semicircle, so it's pi r squared. So this would be area is pi r squared, but since it's a semicircle, I would divide by 2. The radius is 2, so we're going to get 4 pi over 2, which is 2 pi. So that's all that's happening here. This one is 1/2 the base. So the base would be 4 times the height, which is 2. So again, we would get 4. So again, they're just asking you to practice finding the area. Trapezoid is common, but oftentimes students don't do the trapezoid. They just break it up into, let's say, a rectangle like that, and then maybe a triangle, and sum them up. So however you want to do it, okay? And the other idea is, again, we want to find an integral, let's say, but let's say they give us a function of, or just the value of the values of the function, but not the actual function. So there's no x where we can raise it up by 1 divided by the new power, but we have certain values throughout the function. So we can approximate the value of an integral by using Riemann sum. So we could do left endpoint, right endpoint, trapezoid, midpoint, whatever they tell us to do, right? So this one is, again, they're giving us some function, and they're asking us to find a left-hand Riemann sum. So it says 3 equal subintervals. No, that's 4. 6 equal subintervals. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 rectangles, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. I have 7 heights. So you're either going to choose the numbers on the left. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or if it's a right, I'm going to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because again, it's 6 rectangles. I only need 6 heights. So I would do my delta x. So my delta x is 0 to 5, 5 to 10. Always want to check this. Most of the time it's equal, but it's not always. Okay, so 0 to 5. So my base of all my rectangles are 5. My heights are going to vary here. These are my height values. And again, which one we choose is dependent on which method we're going to use. So left, right left Riemann sum. So I'm going to use the 6 left numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here I'm going to use the 6 right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this, again, this approximates the integral of this function. I'm just using rectangles. Unlike the one above it, we were able to actually create specific geometric figures. So we had a circle, or we had a triangle, a trapezoid. For this, we just have values. So again, we're approximating. Then it says to do the trapezoid. So remember, this formula for trapezoid is 1/2. We're going to say the base and then h1 plus h2. So if you remember, we took a trapezoid like this. So it's usually 1/2 height, and then base 1 plus base 2. So what we're doing is we're turning this on its side like this. And then we're going to draw it over the curve like that. So now our bases become our height, so we're going to use this formula. So again, it's going to be the 1/2. You're going to find the base. Again, in this case, the base is all 5. So we don't need to write it each time. If you want to do each trapezoid separately, you can. But for each let's do each trapezoid. So the first one would be, so it's 1/2 times 5. So it would be, I need the average of these two. So f of 0 plus f of 5. That's the first trapezoid. Then I do 1/2 times 5, and then be f of 5 plus f of 10. And then so forth and so on. So 1/2 times 5, f of 10 plus f of 15. Now you'll notice here, hopefully, because you're always averaging the two heights, so like it would look like this, right? So all of these middle ones are going to be used 2 times. So you could simplify this and do f of 0 and then plus 2 times f of 5, 2 times f of 10, 2 times f of 15. So all the interior heights get doubled, and then the 2 on the ends, so like this one and this one, just show up once. So again, however you want to do it, you can do it separately. You can see how I did it together here. So I did the endpoint, the endpoint, so this, and then all the middle ones got doubled up. And then this was the midpoint. They tell us to use 3, so I'm going from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. So my delta x is 10, but I'm using the number in the middle. So I'm using the 0.2. I'm using the 2.6 and the 3 for the height. So these are all approximations. They're all 4 different ways to do it. And you'll notice some, again, it's not accurate. It's an approximation, 53, 62, 57.5, and 58. So I know that my area under the curve is somewhere in that range. All right, so for this stuff here, again, they're just asking you to practice graphing. This is all that it really comes down to. So they want you to actually graph the function instead of integrating the function. So instead of integrating 3dx, which we know is 3x, and then evaluating from 2 to 9, let's say, that's one way to do it, obviously. But if you look at B and C, we can't integrate those. So in place of integration, we do area under the curve. So this is just a horizontal line at 3. So I drew a horizontal line, and then it's going from 2 to 9. So now I have a height of 3, and then my base is 7, so I get 21. If you were to integrate this, you're going to get 27 minus 6, which is 21. So either way works, but for B and C, these are the ones you have to pay careful attention to. So the absolute value graph, we would graph it, and you'll notice here that you're going to get 2 triangles, and then this one is a semicircle. So you do need to know that x squared plus y squared equals r squared. I'll do it down here. So x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Y squared equals r squared minus x squared, and when you take the root, you get that. So this really is just a semicircle, the top half of it, because we would normally get, y equals plus or minus square root of r squared minus x squared. The plus is the top half of the semicircle, the minus is the bottom half. So this is really just a semicircle with radius 3, and we're going from -3 to 3. So in this case, we want the area of a semicircle. They could have flipped this and said from 0 to 3 of 9 minus x squared dx. Again, it's still the same graph, but now we're only doing 1/4 of the circle. So again, in place of integration, here what we're doing is we're just graphing these little functions. So this is just another example I don't want to spend too much time here, but again, we can integrate easily, get the answer. But for this, what we did was we graphed the line negative x plus 3. So I graphed that line. So it really ran like here, right? All of it. But then I want from 4 to 8. Okay, and then I created a rectangle and a triangle, summed it up. Since you're under the x-axis, the area is going to be negative. Okay, below the x-axis, the area is negative. Okay, and then here, last, we just practiced with the calculator a little bit. So again, let's do these on the bottom here just to practice. I know there's no calculator on this test, but there will be calculator on the next test, and you're going to have to become proficient in putting derivatives, integrals, and graphing, which we'll practice on your calculator. But for this, all I did was you go to Math 9. It prompts you with the integral you're going to put in your bounds, so 1 to 3, and then you want to make sure you include the dx and put parentheses around this. So that's all that this stuff was. So for right now, that was just putting it into a calculator. And then for this part here, so again, as we've talked about this, the AP is very unique and creative. They're giving us a function that we can integrate, so it's not impossible to do. But sometimes they'll give you a function that you just can't integrate, or they'll just call it f of x. And then you have to somewhat come up with, based on, the information they give you, the graph, whatever. But this is saying from 0 to pi, the area is 2. So that's the area under the sine curve from 0 to pi is 2. Since it's sort of oscillates and it's symmetrical, it goes positive to negative. So this would be positive 2, negative 2, positive 2, negative 2, positive, negative 2. So I'm just going to answer the question. So we went from pi to 2 pi, so it would be negative 2. 0 to 2 pi negates itself, right? 2 and negative 2 cancels. 0 to pi would be half of this, so it's 1. Negative pi to pi, so then this comes down here to be negative 2 and 2, which is the 0, and so forth and so on. These you got to be careful about. So you don't have to show this, but you do understand that you are breaking up the integral. So it's 0 to pi, so 2 dx, and then plus 0 to pi sine of x dx. So this was given up here. So I know that there's going to be some variation of a 2 for that part of it. For this part, we just have to integrate it. So when you integrate 2, you get 2x, and you're going from 0 to pi. And then that gives me the answer. Okay? So that's it for this video. It was very short. Mostly, are you able to create geometric figures to find the area under the curve so we can find an integral if at times we can't integrate it or there's not enough information given to integrate the function.